So this song has two guitars in it. We'll be going through them both kind of simultaneously. The second guitar, it doesn't have a whole lot of variation, so it'll be easy to just play along as we get to those parts of the song. So, let's start with the intro, because that's where you start. So this song, real quick before we get started, this song is in drop C tuning, so I'm not going to be referring to the strings in E, A, D, G, B, E. It'll be C, G, C, F, A, D, that's from lowest to highest. So, let's get started with that. So we'll get started with the first guitar. The intro is going to sound like this. So pretty simple, there's two parts to this. The first part is this. Pretty simple. Have your pinky on the 8th fret of the high C string. You can play that for a full measure. And then have your first finger barred on the 5th fret. Right there. And it'll sound like this. And that's two full measures of that. So you repeat that about 4 times, I think. Possibly, maybe, who knows. I don't. I only work here. And then the second part will sound like this. Excuse that ugly ow. So here are your two shapes that you're going to be doing. Have your pinky still on the 8th fret of the high C string. And put your first finger on the 5th fret of the low C string. It should already be there from barring the first fret. So it will sound like this. And then you're going to move down. First finger will be on the 3rd fret of the same string, and your pinky will be on the 7th fret of the same string. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's totally possible. So the whole thing. And that's the intro for the first guitar. For the second guitar, isn't really playing a whole lot. You're literally just borrowing the 5th fret and playing with the lead guitar. So, you know, when the lead guitar does this, the second guitar will also do that. So you don't play any of this, or any of that. You just literally have the 5th fret barred on the lowest strings. So moving on to the verse, it's going to sound like this for the lead guitar. You're going to be picking between the 8th fret and the 7th fret on the high C string, and it'll sound like this. So again, you're just between the 8th and the 7th fret, and what these isn't something you play. That was me representing where the second guitar is going to play. And the second guitar essentially will start off playing this, and then once you're done, once the first guitar is done picking on the 8th fret, you'll do this. So if you're counting it out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you're going to be playing this on the and of 4 and this on the 1 and of the next measure. So it'll be like this. That first time, since there is no and of 4, that's part of the verse, you're just going to be playing the 1 and part, and you'll go back and forth between the 5th fret and the 3rd fret. Now onto the second part of the first verse. Lead guitar plays this. So let's break that down. You're going to have your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the G string, and you have your first finger on the 8th fret of the high C string. And you're just going to palm mute picking between the two strings, starting with the G string. And you'll do that for 2 measures. Then that second shape, you're going to move down the neck. You're going to have your first finger on the 7th fret of the C string. You'll have your middle finger on the 8th fret of the G string. And again, palm mute picking between the two, starting with the G string. Playing that for 2 measures. You'll go back to this first shape for 2 measures, and then you're just going to palm mute strum the second shape, the 7th and 8th fret, this, for 1 measure. Then you'll do this. So you'll play that first shape again, and then you're going to just slide that shape up so that your 3rd finger is on the 12th fret of the G string, and your 1st finger is on the 10th fret of the high C string. And that's the verse for the first guitar. For the second guitar, while they're doing the palm muting strumming, while they're doing that, you're going to be doing this. That's pretty simple. You'll be palm muting strumming that rhythm on the 5th and 3rd fret, and then when the lead guitar plays, you're going to play on the 5th fret and then the 7th fret, barring those low strings. So moving on to the chorus, again for the first guitar, not much has changed. You're going to be on the 8th fret of the high C string, then you'll slide up to the 12th fret on the same string, then back down to the 7th fret on the high C string. So it'll sound like this. And if you want, you can play this. This is just an open chord on the lower strings. Like that. You don't have to, that's for the second guitar. But you'll basically do that. You'll do that again, same with, from 8th to 12th to the 7th. And then you're going to play this. So almost like the verse when we did, instead this. And these are power chords with your root note on the high C string of the 5th fret and then the 7th fret. So for the second guitar during the verse, you're going to be playing bar chords essentially, the bar not bar chords. On the 5th fret, you'll slide up to the 8th fret and then back to the 3rd fret. So it'll sound like this. And that's the chorus. Those 5th and 7th fret bar chords are playing when the first guitar is playing. So, timing's pretty easy. So then you move into the verse again, which nothing's changed except you don't have this. You just have the second guitar doing the whole. That. Then you move into the chorus, which is exactly the same except you play it the whole thing twice. Then we move on to the bridge, which only has 1 guitar. And it'll sound like this. We'll break it up into 2 parts. The first part sounds like this. Like that. You're going to play your power chord on the 5th fret on the high C string. You'll slide down to the 3rd fret on the high C string. Take that same shape and go down so your root note's on the 3rd fret of the G string. Bar the 3rd fret. And then on the G string, go to the 5th fret. Then slide down to the 3rd fret. And that's your pattern. And that second time through, after you play that bar, you just... and then you start the whole thing over. And that's the first part of the bridge. So once again, very slowly. Not very slowly, but slower. And you'll repeat that, and that's the first part. Here is the second part. So it's a lot of power chords. It's not as bad as it looks. In fact, it doesn't even look that bad, I'm sure. So it's all power chords with your root note on the high C string, so we'll just list off the fret numbers. So you'll start on the 5th fret. Then you're going to slide down to the 3rd fret, back up to the 5th fret, slide up to the 8th fret, slide up to the 12th fret, up to the 15th fret, and up to the 17th fret. So here it is, all together, a little bit slower. And that's the verse. After that, you're going to come up immediately to the 3rd fret. Then after that, it'll be a little drum breakdown and you'll play leading into the chorus. Just, you know, open chord on the higher strings. Then you move into the chorus. Chorus here, and this is kind of the outro. This not kind of is the outro. Chorus is played 3 times. The first time is completely normal. Second time, the first part of the chorus, there's no that. In fact, you're just playing whole notes, the second guitar will be, of the chords you would normally play. So it'll sound like... And then you play the second part as normal, and then we get to the 3rd part. So the 3rd part of the chorus has the lead guitar playing the solo. And we'll do the solo last. It's not that hard, I just like to do it last, because I said so. The second guitar will play whole notes of all the chords he's been playing for the chorus, so it'll sound like this. And that's it. So that's it for second guitar. On to the solo. Not bad at all. We'll break it up into 3 parts. So here's the first part. You know, this is a short solo. These parts are going to be pretty short. So you'll start on the A string, that, and you'll be sliding into the 8th fret, pluck it again, and then you will be hitting the 10th fret and the 11th fret on the same string. Then you'll slide up to the 15th fret, play the 13th fret, and that's that first part. Like that. And here's the second part. Again, these sections are kind of short. So you'll slide into the 11th fret, and you'll play the 13th fret, and then the 11th fret again, all on the A string. Slide up to the 10th fret, I guess technically down, slide down to the 10th fret, and then on the, not the G string, what string is this? F string, that string. You'll play the 12th and then the 11th fret, so it'll sound like this. And then back up to the 8th fret on the A string. So here's that part again. Slide to the 11th, 13th and 11th, down to the 10th fret, then the 12th and 11th fret on the F string, then back on the 8th fret of the A string. That's the second part. Here's the third part. It's almost exactly the same as the first part. Oops. Messed up there, but whatever, we're going to roll with it. So the first half is pretty much the same, sliding it on the 8th fret, plucking it, then the 10th and the 11th, sliding up to the 15th and the 13th. Like that. Then the very last part, you'll start from the 8th fret and slide to the 11th fret, and then end on the 10th fret. Just like that. So now the whole thing all together, and they're three super extensive parts. Here's the solo slowed down. And that's the end of the song. So, hope you learned something. Hope this was useful. It's not... It's... bleh. I'm vomiting words right now. Isn't it great? I still don't know how to end these. So, have a good day. Yeah. That's a good way to end these.